There's something undeniably satisfying about watching a woke MP get publicly challenged on live television. On Sky News, a particularly idealistic MP attempted to argue that every illegal immigrant arriving in the UK contributes positively to the country. It's a sweeping claim, and one that doesn't hold up under scrutiny. We all know the reality is far more complex. We will go over this clip in today's video whilst taking a look at all the news from up and down the country. But first, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more British content. Have a watch.
About one thing.
What's it going to be? A new coalition with Greens and Reform?
The other thing that's helping Nigel, and you see it today at PMQs, is Labour's Achilles heel, as it was ours, is illegal migration. People see that as long as you don't have a deterrent, and we were racing towards a deterrent with the Rwanda policy, obviously Keir came in, scrap that, he's now going to pay the price for that. And I think if he doesn't U-turn soon, he's going to have a real problem. The Labour Party are going to have a serious difficulty, and Nigel will be the great beneficiary of it.
Really interesting to hear from. Do you want to come? Go on.
Well, we're done with agreeing now. I am really worried by Labour continuing to dance to Reform's tune on immigration, really scapegoating migrants, failing to recognise the positive contribution they bring to this country, and failing to recognise that if you want to tackle the small boats crisis in the Channel, then you need to take away their business model, and you do that by giving legitimate asylum seekers, and the vast majority of people who come here to claim asylum are successful, they are legitimate asylum seekers, give them safe routes to apply and to arrive by regular routes, and then there will be no business model for the small boats anymore.
There's a clue in the word, illegal, right? You know, my parents came to these shores, right? Most immigrants watching tonight, right, whatever, who came here, followed the rules, did it properly, are equally upset about people jumping the queue, getting on small boats. Are you suggesting that asylum seekers are by definition illegal because you've misunderstood the Refugee Convention, if so? I'm saying to you that you are not understanding how the nation... Every constituency, my old seat, Stratford-on-Avon, had hotels full of illegal young men who've come across on these boats, exploited by gangs, no doubt, but it's illegal.
I need to clarify something.
And that is the problem the Greens will have with the nation. Go and try and explain that to the country. They won't understand it.
People fleeing for their lives, fleeing from political oppression, have a right to apply for asylum, and they have that right even if they have arrived irregularly. There is...
You can't even say the word illegal, right?
Because applying for asylum is not illegal.
No, what they're doing is illegal.
In the Refugee
They are coming from a safe country, which is France. They're coming from a safe country, which is France. They're crossing illegally. Fine, some of them being exploited by gangs. But it's illegal. The nation hates that because it goes against our values of fairness. That's the real problem. And that is what Nigel and Kemi are talking about.
The vast majority of people on small boats are coming, fleeing their lives, fleeing from political oppression, fleeing from war. They apply for asylum when they arrive.
They're in a safe country in France.
And the majority of them are successful.
What are they fleeing from France?
And the majority of them are successful because their right to refugee status is recognised.
What are they fleeing from France? It's a safe country.
The Refugee Convention does not require them to seek asylum in the first country they arrive in.
The nation will decide your fate.
You know what?
On that point.
Well, I represent a constituency that is incredibly pro-migration. It's a city of sanctuary.
I'm the son of
my
immigrants.
Constituents in Bristol Central want the UK to support migrants.
Right? It goes against our sense of fair play and fairness.
I tell you what, it was really nice, wasn't it, when we had a little bit of agreement for about 2 minutes. That lasted a long time. But really interesting debate.
What do you make of this? Let me know your thoughts down below. In other news, Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer has denied that Reform UK is the new People's Party, despite their enormous seat gain in the latest local elections. Nigel Farage's party has gained more than 300 seats as they welcomed their first ever mayor, Dame Andrea Jenkins, and first ever female MP, Sarah Pochin. Speaking to the media, Starmer admitted that while the results were disappointing, he is still determined to go further and faster to deliver change for Britain. Starmer told political editor Christopher Hope, "The results in the local elections are disappointing, and I could stand here and say that opposition parties always do well in by-elections like this, It was very close in Runcorn, etc. But what I want to say is my response is we get it. We were elected in last year to bring about change. That's what people desperately want. We started that work. The NHS waiting lists are down, wages are up more than prices, interest rates are down. But the message from these results, I think, is go further, go faster. That chimes with what I want to do, and that's what I take out of this. Pressed by Christopher on whether Reform UK is the new People's Party of Britain, Starmer claimed that his government had already begun making progress on key issues affecting Britons. Starmer explained, NHS waiting lists are down, we've done 3 million extra appointments in the 10 months that we've been in government, that's hugely important to people. Interest rates are going down, so anybody watching this with a mortgage will be pleased to know interest rates have come down 3 times now and wages are going up higher than prices. That's really important in the cost of living crisis. Hitting out at Reform UK policy, Starmer claimed that the party want to charge Britons for using the NHS with their reforms of the country's health service. The Prime Minister claimed, we're getting NHS waiting lists down, what do Reform want to do? They want to charge people for using the NHS. That's a pretty fundamental divide. Under a Labour government, we will never charge people for using the NHS. It is a pretty fundamental issue to me and my government. Reiterating his mission to go further and faster for the people of Britain, Starmer emphasised that with the close local election result in Runcorn and Helsby, he acknowledged change is needed from his government. Starmer concluded, I'm determined that we will go further and faster on the change that people want to see. It was very, very close in Runcorn, but I'm not going to stand here and just say it was close in the end. It's a binary outcome. You either win or you don't win. The question is how, and so I'm not going to respond by simply saying it was close. I want a better response than that, which is to say I get it. He added, I do know that change is needed. We are making that change. We need to go further and faster. I've been saying this for a number of weeks, and this reinforces my determination that will deliver the change that people want across the country. Finally, Reform UK spokeswoman Anne Widdecombe has declared a strong sensation of change in UK politics as Nigel Farage's party stormed through several local election victories, gaining more than 300 seats. The party's first female MP, Sarah Pochin, beat Labour's candidate in Runcorn and Helsby by just 6 votes, while Dame Andrea Jenkins became Reform's first ever mayor in Greater Lincolnshire. What are your thoughts on what we discussed in today's video? Let me know down in the comments section below. If you've not yet already, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more British content. Thank you, take care, goodbye.